you guys so anti-dictators? Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Your media would appear free, but would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group, and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests. I know this is hard for you Americans to imagine, but please try.
All right, everybody. Welcome back for another one. And I wanted to start this video off with that hilarious but true clip from The Dictator, right? That movie came out in 2012. But all of the bullet points that he hit are all coming to fruition now more than ever, right? If you actually just pay attention and don't look at the mainstream media, which is controlled by all the people, as he said, right, that want you to believe a certain narrative, then you can see through all the lies and BS, right? What did he say? He said you could have an entire population where 1% of the people have all the wealth. You could cut taxes so that your wealthy buddies can continue to get richer. Have we seen that? He said, remember, 2012, right? Not Trump's term, right? He said you could bail out your friends when they gamble and lose. You can ignore the poor when it comes to the healthcare and education needs that they have, right? We have an awful education system here. Why does nobody in the United States know anything about finance, right? Everyone I talk to, they all blow their money, they buy cars, they buy junk, they don't know what an interest rate is, they don't know how to invest, they're loaded with debt. Why? Because that's exactly what they wanted them to be like, right? They are exactly who they wanted them to be, consumers and slaves to the debt system, right? What else did he say? He said the media could be controlled by one family, right? Well, that's pretty obvious that we're in that situation, right? The media is ridiculous. I can't believe people even pay attention to mainstream media. I don't get it, right? What else did he say? You could wiretap people's phones. Well, we know they're doing that. He said you can torture and kill foreign enemies. Oh, a great one that he pointed out, right? 2012, he said you could have rigged elections. Where have we seen that? He's like, you could lie about why you go to war. Well, we know that they do that here, right? So, oh, you could have one racial group in the prison systems. You could use the media to scare people into policies that are against their best interests. Well, 2020, right? Perfect year to see that. Right? What are they doing right now? Trying to scare people with all this COVID situation and everything going around the world, right? It's so obvious. All right, those are all the main bullet points. But I was just watching that movie the other day for fun. I totally forgot that that clip was in there, but it just made my day because I thought it was perfect for a video. All right. Little off topic, let's go ahead and get things started, right? So, taking a look at the Bitcoin chart. Everyone's bullish again, right? We got a rebound. We're just going to continue up into 100,000, and there's nothing to see here, right? Just kidding, all right? So, personal opinion, once again, still, we might rebound. We might make a new higher high, even. But I think it's going to look something like this. Right, so might see a pattern more similar to this, right? We get your first dip, all right, then we get a V-shaped recovery. Oh, we're bullish, everything's going up. All right, this runs us up to about the 50,000 area, and then fail. All right, lower highs, and then we make our big dip down to about 25,000, and then continue up, right? I think something more like that is in the cards, all right? And just so you guys know, all I did was pull that pattern from the 2017 bull run right here. So sometimes it's good to look back at history. Doesn't repeat identically, but it rhymes, right? And we're following right along this 4-year cycle with Bitcoin. I think that the consolidation periods in the upcycle, right, the bull cycle, are going to still have big pullbacks. Right? And we didn't really get that fear yet. Didn't get that panic. Right? I think we need to go lower. And then once we go lower, we'll find more buyers, and I think we might trigger an alt season, right? But most of the news today was extremely bullish for specifically Bitcoin, right? So I wanted to cover a lot of it because yesterday I was kind of bearish. Well, like I said, I'm going to be unbiased and always give you both perspectives or all the perspectives. Exchange traded products abound, but crypto is still waiting for an ETF. The Swiss SIX exchange, Switzerland's principal stock exchange, continues to expand its crypto products with a new Bitcoin ETP. Each BTCE unit provides holders with a claim on a predefined amount of Bitcoin. So it's not like an ETF where it just trades freely. You do indeed have a redeemable amount of Bitcoin to your ETP. ETPs increasingly pop up on exchanges, but it says especially in Europe, but the digital asset industry is still waiting for the first ETF, as they mentioned in the title. Right? The point here is we're getting the ETPs. Like I said, they have basically a claim on actual crypto behind, whereas an ETF just trades openly on the exchanges. Right? It's free to go in whatever direction it does. It's not correlated exactly with Bitcoin. All right, but I wanted to point this out because the more you start to see stuff like this, the harder it becomes to argue against the success of Bitcoin long term, right? Because when you're seeing all these exchanges and everything rolling out exchange traded products, and if we ever get an ETF, it just continues to solidify the legitimacy, right? Because this is starting to bring the crypto into traditional finance, and it will be a part of everyone's portfolio. You'll start to have financial advisors recommending it, that it be a portion of your diversification, right? Your well-diversified portfolio will start to get recommendations to have these ETFs if and when they come out. So that's bullish for Bitcoin. Another thing bullish for Bitcoin. Coinbase invests in US-based mining firm amid industry diversification efforts. Coinbase Ventures has invested an undisclosed amount into Titan, a developer of software and services targeted at industrial Bitcoin mining. I had nothing much else to point out here. They talk about Titan, the company, what do they do, and so on. My point is that Coinbase, who is in the know, right, they are partnered with the CIA in providing user information and stuff. I'm pretty sure they've already said, IRS is in there with them. They know what's going on, right? And they're investing in Bitcoin's future. So, like I said, the more you see stuff like this, the harder it becomes to argue against the long-term success of Bitcoin, right? Next up, Treasury backs down. Crypto monitoring rule will wait until new administration. The United States Treasury Department's Anti-Money Laundering Office is slowing its roll on a rushed proposal to monitor a whole new range of crypto transactions. FinCEN announced that it was extending the window on comments in response to a rule originally announced 2 days before Christmas and less than a month before a new administration takes over. Right? And what this rule was going to be basically that crypto exchanges have to require that any wallets, self-hosted wallets, linked to their accounts are KYC. All right, so we got a little delay here. I will continue to say I think that this is inevitable once again. So long as we have government, you will need KYC. So I think that it's coming eventually. They just might have delayed it. I do not see a scenario where people can have self-hosted wallets with exchanges moving money between them, unverified accounts, because of tax purposes. Right now, quite honestly, it's pretty easy to launder money with crypto, right? All you got to do is have a few ledgers scattered around, a few exchanges you use that are unverified, and buy crypto on there. That's the privacy cryptos. You can send your funds over there, buy some Monero move it around to a few different wallets, buy some Zcash, move that around, use these private cryptos, and then eventually send the money back to your wallet. Where'd it come from? Who knows, right? And that's what those privacy cryptos do, along with having these no KYC on your ledgers. And I just don't see that flying with the government long term due to tax purposes, right? And I say that because if you guys could actually see how it works on the broker dealer side, the traditional finance side, as I said, I worked at Charles Schwab. Even a signature is hard to get verified over there, right? They will inspect the signature literally to the T, right? You send in your signature card, any piece of document you send from then on, if you're moving any kind of amount of money that matters, they will overlook your signature to make sure it matches your original one. And like, they have a microscope on this stuff. So if you think that this shooting money all around all over the place to exchange that's in Hong Kong, to an exchange that's in Singapore, to one that's in the US and then UK, I just don't see that. All right. But who knows? Right? See what happens. Bitcoin briefly loses its spot as the top crypto. Wait, what? I don't know if you guys saw this, but earlier this morning when I was checking the prices, signed in and saw that wrapped Bitcoin, right? It was about, as they show here, 432 quadrillion for a market cap, right? And as they indicate, the total world money supply is estimated at 1.2 quadrillion, including derivatives. So yeah, I just logged in and saw that wrapped Bitcoin was just this massive market cap. Not sure how that glitch happened, but that was interesting. All right, a few more things. So this guy pointed out, sent me a question, right? Mufasa Swazia, if you're listening, right? I answered your question in the comments, you can see. But he asked, so The Economist, which is controlled by the Rothschilds, is saying this openly, that Stellar will be the one world currency. Then I am skeptical about one thing. I'm skeptical about the $1,000 theory for the price of the two, I guess. It says, what if XRP and XLM will just be $1 stable coins? Why would they allow us normal people to get wealthy? Well, for one, as you can see, they've done plenty of scare tactics to keep people out of XRP, including this new lawsuit, right? That's what I think it comes down to. And if you look at the wallets, XRP only has like 2 million wallets in existence, and Stellar is like 4 million something. So that's not a large amount of people, for one. And if you've noticed, the entire crypto space hates XRP, and they're not too fond of Stellar either, because it's basically like XRP's brother. So I think that the propaganda is there already to keep people out, right? Anytime you try to talk about this stuff, XRP community just totally hate it, right? It's like we're all conspiracy theorists and we think that it's the Illuminati coin and this and that. Well, the evidence is there to suggest that they definitely do have these ties, and that it will kind of be the winner or the winners. That's a different story, as I've shown you. But yeah, I just wanted to address that really quick. And I also wanted to show you why the $1 stablecoin theory doesn't work either, really quick. So let's take a look here. So I feel like sometimes people do need a picture to see how this actually works. So really need to look at XRP as if it were a shipping container used to pack all of these fiat currencies or stable coins into right now, because it is intended to be a bridge currency that provides liquidity to all these banks and financial institutions, or anyone, right, that needs to send money from A to B, right? It's the bridge currency, bridge layer, right? So at $1, easy way to look at it, right? At $1, right now there's only 50 billion XRP shipping containers in circulation, right? Parentheses. So at $1, you would need 10% of the entire supply of the shipping containers to ship only $5 billion, right? And $5 billion sounds like a lot, but when we're talking about cross-border remittances, right, around the globe on a daily basis, $5 billion is nothing, right? One person could need to send $5 billion at any given moment. Say they're doing a business deal in another country and they want to get these people the money. Well, typically they probably would wire it, right? Which takes like a week or so or longer. And sometimes they get lost, right? There's currently a like 6% slippage rate in the use of international wires and getting lost. Different topic. But do you think it sounds efficient at $1 to need 10% of the entire supply of anything to move $5 billion? No. Very easy question to answer. I think anyone can see this, even if you don't really understand how the financial system works. Right? 10% is a massive amount of supply to need to move money, right? As that bridge currency purpose. But, at $1,000, it makes a little more sense. And honestly, an even larger number would make even more sense. Because with the printing rate they're going at, right? Now we got trillions of dollars in circulation. So they're losing their value all over the world too. All these countries are printing their dollars into oblivion right now. So that shipping container might need to get a lot bigger than people are thinking. Right? So at $1,000, you would need 5 million containers, which still sounds like a lot, and it kind of is. But even then, at 5 million containers, that would only be 0.01%. So instead of 10%, you would reduce it to 0.01% of the circulating supply needed to send $5 billion. Right? Same number of dollars being moved, but the larger the container is, the more money it can send. And also less congestion in the actual ledger, right? So the ledger won't have all these XRP, this massive transaction being sent, or these massive amounts of transactions needing to be sent all at once, the larger the shipping container is. So hope the picture kind of clarifies what I'm getting at here. This doesn't have to be accurate, right? But one thing's for sure, if anything is going to be a bridge currency or a global currency out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Stellar, any of them, they are all going to need to be a lot more valuable than they are now. Because even the biggest one, right, Bitcoin right now is about the size of a few companies, right? Or one company, big company, right? Like Netflix. I think they just passed Netflix with JP Morgan at 450 billion. So companies, stocks don't compare to currencies, right? Currencies in circulation, all the main ones that matter, are in the trillions in valuation, multiple trillions, right? The dollars are like 20 trillion circulating now, right? My guess is the global currency would need to be bigger than the dollar circulating supply, right? Which is at 20 trillion. So the investment thesis here that has always attracted me to crypto is that these currencies were competing with the trillion-dollar market caps, not the stocks in the billions. Okay. So, all right, moving on. Last but not least, hard for me to understand the significance of this, but Feng Han, co-founder of Elastos, says it's beginning January 13th of 2021. We reached an official strategic cooperation with the Fuzhou government, Zhangqi, I guess you would say, and signed an agreement on the Credit Oracle project. Credit Oracles is an Elastos native service that is based on Elastos DID and ELA link. So as I've shown you before, I think Elastos connections run deep with the Chinese government. I don't know how deep they run, but becoming more apparent that they do indeed exist. I've shown you, maybe you've seen the pictures they work with the VP of Tencent, like software development or something like that. Huawei, big guys over there as well. And those are some of the largest corporations in China. So once again, I'm not plugged in over there in China. I have no idea what's going on in that culture, the country, anything like that. But I know that they have government connections. It's just hard to connect the dots when I'm over here in the US. So if maybe someone could connect the significance of this, or show us who works there, what their background is, who they're tied to, stuff like that, that's kind of how you start to connect the dots behind the scenes of what's actually going on. But regardless, apparently this Zheng Qi is, someone in the comments indicated there was 45 million people. I Googled it and they said about 4 million. Who knows? Either way, 4 million is also large. So we'll see what comes out of this. Apparently they're doing things with the government over there now in China with Elastos. Hope that was informative. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
What is a cashless society? What does it actually mean in a literal or high-level sense?
Money will become like these, relics of a different age, and will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash will disappear. It will become electronic, transferred by things like these.
Then Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
Mobile payment transactions in China reached a cumulative total of 277.4 trillion RMB in 2018, ranking #1 in the world, according to the recently released statistical report on internet development in China. As of June 2019, online payment users in the country reached 633 million. The cashless society is now approaching.
When's the last time you paid with cash? Well, chances are cash has taken a backseat to the plastic in your wallet and smartphone pay apps.
Denver 7's Ryan Luby explains the digital pay revolution and why not everyone is on board.
The cashless society, the cashless society.
The cashless society.
The cashless society is now approaching.
The cashless society.